and not to put too fine a point on it, the standard will rocket up now as these two take to the ice. They're the reigning world champions. Twice they've won the silver medal at the European Championships, but never the gold. Could it be this year? The talk is, it may very well be. This is, of course, Albena, Denkova and Maxim Staviski from Bulgaria.
In the preparation steps, each couple has the opportunity of putting a little choreography in before the dance starts now. Very sure and sharp. They're always driving for the speed and yet keeping the lightness and the precision at the end of each movement.
Just beautiful. Well, that's how the Golden Waltz should be skated. These two, of course, have made history throughout their career. The first Bulgarian skaters ever to win a medal at an ISU World Championships. That was the bronze medal that they won back in 2003. And, of course, the only Bulgarian skaters ever to win a World Championships.
And what really came over to me there, her arms are so beautiful. It's like when a ballerina is dancing, the body is so taut and so controlled, yet the arms look effortless and graceful. And she was able to do that within the dance, and it's beautiful. It adds to the presentation. At times, the precision they had was almost delaying a movement so that they could capture it and then move into the next bit. It's just emphasizing the feeling of the waltz and putting their own personality onto it.
Yes, certainly. I think perhaps looking on the TV, it looks so graceful and effortless. You forget how physically demanding it actually is.
And when we're close, when you're close on that picture there, you're missing it's like watching a Formula One race on the television against being there. You're missing that movement and the way they're rising and falling on the ankle and the knee to keep the power going. And there is a drive in it, isn't there? They're not just taking it easy. So all of that comes over and you get an overall impression. But when we're looking at the marks in front of us here, you can see how it's split into each section, and the technical specialists are actually awarding different marks for each area.
The marks coming up now. Their personal best, you can see there is 41 for this segment, 19.68 for the elements, and 18.88 the component score there. So that gives them a total of 38.56 for the segment, and they go leaping into the lead. That is the target, and you'll have to wait a while to see whether that will be beaten. Certainly a great start to this opening day of these European Figure Skating Championships. Natalia Linachuk sat alongside there, who coaches them in Newark, Delaware, in the USA. The last team to go in this second group, representing Great Britain. They've been 8th place the last couple of years, so an interesting battle between these two and the couple from Azerbaijan. It is, of course, John and Sinead Kerr, looking very, very stylish out there. A lot of support for these two, and a lot of people saying an awful lot of good things about them. We wish them the best of luck.
Good speed and driving the edges from the start. It looks precise, and their pattern, one of the largest on this lobe at the end of the rink. Competent, fast and clean. I like John's look. Always like Sinead's look, of course, but John's look is great.
Well, that really was a very, very clean performance there from John and Sinead Kerr. And I think it's fair to say, Nicky, that the competition's going to get better for them as it progresses. Their original dance is good, and probably their free dance is the best section for them.
Yes, I think always the compulsories have been the area that they've had to work on the most, and they've got grounding in that. And this was the thing that stood out for me here was the power they've got. Obviously they're physically in great condition, and they kept driving through the dance. It never lost power, it never lost speed. Very difficult move. So I think they'll be very pleased with that. It's not a bad draw for them at all. Second group, particularly with Albena and Maxim having gone so much earlier and set the bar, as it were.
Well, the bar's set mighty high, there's no doubt about that. Remember, they got 38.56, and in second place at the moment it's the couple from Azerbaijan on 29.69. So there's no doubt about it. John and Sinead want to slot into second place. They've got a personal best of 32.97 for the compulsories, and they'll be looking for something close to that. Had a good season so far this year. Competed in the Cup of Russia, where they finished in 4th place, and Skate America in Hartford finished 5th there. So looking quite pleased with things. 17.09 for the elements, and 16.35 the component score, which gives them a total of 33.44. They'll take that, there's no doubt about it. They do go into second place with a new personal best, so very, very well done to John and Sinead for that. So the final couple in this third group, a couple that really are making some headway, an exciting couple. You'll enjoy this. Competing in the Europeans for the second time. They were 10th last year, 12th in the World Championships, and in Turin in the Winter Olympics. This is Jana, Khokhlova and Sergei Novitski from Russia.
It's fast, there's a big height difference. She's very light over the ice, flowing beautifully, lovely dress. Quite the power we've seen from some of the top couples, but she has beautiful arms. Bet your bottom dollar the ballet training's been done over a long period of time, and it just comes out every movement right down to the fingertips. Adds so much.
Very impressive indeed. Jana, Khokhlova, Sergei Novitski. They've had a busy season this year. Bronze medalists in the Cup of China late last year, then in the NHK Trophy. They finished in second place, and the other big event they took place in was the Grand Prix finals, where they finished in 5th.
And you can see that height difference. Now that does give a different dynamic, and it does help you as a man. If your partner is a lot smaller than you, then you can do different moves, faster lifts. It also, when you're going forward as the man, you can bend deeper without going beneath the lady's head height. And aesthetically, it can look very, very nice indeed. So I think they've got so much going for them, and he's getting some body position there, leaning back. But always look at her fingers, look at the arms, and the presentation is lovely. He got extension on the free leg there as well, so he's not missing out. He's not just forgetting about things, getting some precision. And when you've grown up, as you do, skating against great people in your own country, and you're young and you're growing up and seeing the best of the best, the world champions in your national championship, it inspires you. And they've obviously picked up on that. They're coming out here. They came out last year, coming out now, just look very experienced, look like they've been here for ages.
They certainly do. Well, you picked up on the extension there, Nicky, of Jana. In fact, she skated in the Moscow Children's Ice Ballet until she was 13. And in fact, her real goal was to become a pair skater, but it was suggested that she went into ice dance. In fact, Sergei started off as a single skater but could only do double jumps, so he was pointed in the direction of ice dance as well. And I think it's paid dividends. I think they look good out there.
Well, like Jane Torwar could do good pairs and can do the single skater. When you have a single skater that has the power to skate alone, you put the two together, it can work brilliantly.
Well, the judges liking this, 16.98 the technical score there. And 16.48, these are very, very good marks indeed. 33.46 the total, and that will put them into second place. So the Kerrs drop down a place into third. It's very, very close, just 2 100s between them, so could change as we progress. Remember, for John and Sinead, the competition gets better for them, but it's second place for Jana and Sergei, behind the world champions Denkova and Staviski. Well, now the standard will go through the roof as these two take to the ice. 6th in the Europeans last year, 7th in the World Championships, 9th in the Olympic Games, but bronze medalists in the Grand Prix finals this year. This is Oksana Domnina and Maxim Shabalin from Russia.
Tall couple, always powerful. They're getting a light, fast flow over the ice. And one of the biggest patterns we've seen. Not unexpectedly, this one of the best golden waltzes we've seen so far this afternoon.
Just beautiful. Great speed, expression, and a really good flow across the ice. Looking supremely confident there. 22-year-old Oksana Domnina and 24-year-old Maxim Shabalin. Now he celebrates his 25th birthday this Thursday. Great for them if they could get a medal here, and I think that probably is good enough to put them into second place at this stage.
They're looking stronger for me than I've ever seen them. And in particular, sometimes, you know, part of the overall competition can be weaker for a couple. But if the rest of it is as consistent as this, and it used to be the Russian skaters were not that good at the compulsory dances. Now that's all changed. And look at that presentation. A headline, beautiful, arms, beautiful, his too, matching, it's open, lots of power. Great neckline she's got. He's looking at it, it's matching well. And she follows her eye line right to the end of the fingertips. So it emphasizes the extension on the neck and looks great.
have to admire these two. It's not been an easy ride for them. Both of them had to leave their hometowns at the age of 15 to move to Odesnov to train with Alexei Gorshkov, and that is real commitment.
Yes, you have to make the decision, so you lose time growing up with your friends and your family, but so many sports people do that. And sometimes it can leave us something missing later in their lives, but hopefully that's not the case here. That worked for you then?
I enjoyed it. I don't think it was meant for me, but I enjoyed it. So here we go. I can tell you these marks are very, very good indeed. 19.91, 19.08. That will give them a total of 38.99, and Domnina and Shabalin go into the lead. Not by much, but they're making a statement here. First place for the Russians. And Denkova and Staviski, the world champions, go down into second place.
I think it'll change. Things will change as we go through the competition.
Well, that's a new personal best for these two. And a good job done. Delobel and 29-year-old Olivier Schoenfelder from France.
Lovely to watch. Capturing little nuanced moments and making the dance their own. Little arm movement coming up here. It just rises up and down. Beautiful skating, very fast. Well, I felt like I was in a ballroom. That was the best for me that I've seen this afternoon.
Yep, I'm with you, Nicky. I really love these two.
Well, we'll see what the marks say about that. That was easy power. It didn't look, probably to you at home, it didn't look like they were pushing to us here. It didn't look like they were pushing, yet they're covering a load of ice. It is just beautifully flowing. He always, to me, looks so elegant.
Yeah, but he's tall, isn't he? Such a great physique he is, and really gets into the ice. Just great to watch.
And now, it's easy. I mean, that's a very difficult move, and he's just making it easy. He's just looking at it, you know, we're just dancing together. Here we are, warmth. It's great.
It really is. Technically, I think they're so good. Now, don't you think that this dance suits their style of skating?
I do. I think the long edges of it and the way that they can present the waltz feel, but it's dressed as well, isn't it? It's dressed for the occasion. That makes such a difference.
Really good, tight footwork. And just look how close they are together all the way through the dance.
And you can see the shortened heel that the ice dancers have to enable them to do more intricate steps. On the great close-up shots.
Now, you asked me not to put you on the spot, Nicky, but I'm going to. Where would you have that?
I'd have them first.
Fair enough. Will that happen? Remember, at the moment, it's Domnina and Shabalin, the Russians leading, then the world champions Denkova, Staviski, then the Russian number 2s, and then Jana, Sinead, Kerr in 4th place. So the French fans hold their breath. Isabelle and Olivier there. Possibly not expecting too much, but who knows? They've done their job. That's a good score, 20.47. Very, very good indeed. 19.10 for the components, and that indeed, as Nicky said, has them in the lead. 39.57 for Isabelle Delobel and Olivier Schoenfelder from France. Fantastic. Perhaps it's going to be their year. The hairs on the back of my neck just stood on end. It was like, gosh, the judging system does work then. That's great. Great result. Really reflects what they did. Fantastic. Very well done, Isabelle and Olivier, and well done to the judges too. Well, they were 10th in the European Championships a couple of years ago, dropped a couple of places last year, but of course there were skaters coming back into the event to qualify for the Olympics. So let's see how they fare here. This is 21-year-old Nóra Hoffmann and 24-year-old Attila from Hungary.
Quality skating. So this is an example of a couple who are more of the same height, and yet they're matching very, very well. Fast on the turns, very good extension of the free legs. Light on the turn.
Well done. Enjoyed that. They seem to get speed from absolutely nowhere. Nóra Hoffmann and Attila back on tip-top form.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. They look good together. And it is that match they've got. They're really paying attention to every leg line, to every part of the presentation. Kept the speed going. Very, very well presented. Like the sleeves of the dress, they just emphasize the speed over the ice and each arm movement. Lovely smile. So important, looking relaxed, being able to look relaxed while really concentrating, and everything is inch perfect. Skaters not needing to look where the barriers are. You don't need to, but you know where they are. You also know where the judges are, and you present to them.
Yeah, it was good to see them skate like that. I think just on reflection, thinking back to last year, they seem to have lost a little confidence last year. Didn't have that spark, but it seems to be back here in Warsaw.
And you can sense it. You can, when somebody skates and it's a little bit tentative, it really comes over, even when you're a distance away. But they looked relaxed with that, down in the knee. We always say this, it might sound strange to people, what do you mean down in the knee? Well, when you stand with straight legs on ice, you don't flow. You have to bend your ankles, bend your knees, like you do skiing, and then you get the power and the flow. The ice is your friend, and that's what they're doing so well.
Well, they certainly did, and it really did seem as though the ice was their friend. So coaches alongside Morozov and Sandor Nagy, and 15.77, good marks. 14.87, very good marks indeed. Where will that have them? Just behind the Kerrs in 6th place for Nóra and Attila with 30.64. So nibbling on the heels. Well, in fact, they're 3 points behind, just under 3 points behind the Kerrs. But they're in the frame, still a long way to go. So just one couple to go, and there Pasquale Camerlengo watches on as his team takes to the ice. 7th last year. They were 5th a couple of years ago in the Europeans. This is 25-year-old Federica Faiella and 27-year-old Massimo Scali from Italy.
Now they're very fast, but they're choosing to attack the melody for me, the main beat. They're attacking it, so it doesn't have the softness of the flow of a waltz that I expect. So it'll be interesting to see how the judges react to that. So you choose to put your own stamp on a dance, and they've chosen to attack the waltz here. But for me, it didn't work as well as a softer approach.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nicky. I feel a little disappointed with that. Perhaps I was expecting too much, but I felt it was a little hard, a little staccato almost, perhaps.
Yes.
The waltz not suiting their style of skating.
They're trying to make a difference, because you're always looking to stand out rather than just be the norm. and it looks like they've been trying to do that, but the impression to me is just a little hard.
Well, there's another couple that have made the move across the pond, now training with Pasquale Camerlengo. We saw him earlier on, and we'll see him again in just a moment or two. And Angelika Krylova. She was world champion in 98 and 99. And there's a couple that's promised so much. How will the judges react to this?
Technically, they're brilliant. But on the long edge before then, they pull it round quickly, and it's a real deep edge, and it's a pull rather than letting it flow round. And you know, it's a waltz, and a waltz to me isn't forced. It's you allow it to breathe, and you allow it to move on. And this was just pushing, and it's a style thing, because the content and the steps are there. They didn't have quite the speed on the end of the second side in front of us down on the ice there, but the rest of it was flowing. It was fine, but it just doesn't have this waltz gentle feel about it, which I think is really important.
Do you think we may see two different marks here, a good technical score and perhaps going down a little bit on the second mark?
I think we may. Depends on how the judges interpret it, whether it works for them.
Absolutely. Well, they're all smiles there, and there is a bit of a discrepancy there. 17.67. They're good marks. Very good marks, in fact. 16.86 the component score, and that gives them 34.53 as a total, and that, would you believe, has them in 4th place. Well, they'll be pleased with that. Watch the smiles now when the 4 comes up. They'll take that. Well, the judges went with them.
Yesterday, after the compulsories, the difference between the 3 top couple is so small that we can really consider that it's a tie between the 3 of them. It's a tie, and we know that all of them is going to be on the podium. The problem now is to know what color the medal of each of them is going to be. Okay.